Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming. So following on from yesterday's video of Necromunda Underhive Wars, I'm just going to do a brief playthrough. I'm not going to play a whole operation because they're quite lengthy. Not shockingly lengthy, but lengthy for a video when once you see 5 minutes you'll kind of get the gist, and that's the point to this. I'm not going to do a whole mission. So we go to operations, as I said last time, and you can pick which one. To be honest, between these kind of missions, there's not a lot of difference. Basically, it shows you what you get. None of those things, and I've played this a while, and I don't see either of those resources as being more valuable. You get rewarded for resources at the end of the game at the end of the level, where you finish, and you get resource rewards from your house, which is each gang's got a overall house that they represent, and they'll give you a reward. But I've never found, or maybe it's not occurred to me, but it doesn't seem to make a lot of difference which things you pick up. They're all things to pick up and get as many as you can, basically. So let's just pick this one because it's one to pick. And it will tell you, okay, that's probably good. So as I said before, the other two gangs could have, or one could have gone to the other mission and one could have come to my mission, but they've both come to my mission, so we're going to have to fight them both. Not necessarily exactly how that sounds, because one thing you can do in this game, which I worked out pretty fast, is especially when you're not as strong as you are. I mean, I'm strong for this level now, so it won't make a lot of difference to me. But certainly early on, when you encounter both other gangs, and there's always 3 in each of the early levels, coming to the same mission as you, one thing you can do is let them fight each other a lot. They will fight you. It's not that they'll completely ignore you, but depending on your positioning where you start out, and also depending on, basically the AI gangs seem to like fighting each other quite a bit. So if you're careful and watch them fight each other, and when they're weaker or whoever's left, you can try and swoop in and kill them. It doesn't always work quite like that. It may be, you'll see from this, there'll be places you can position. It may be you position yourself right next to one of the gangs and they're going to fight you because you're much nearer them. But you'll see. So this is the main setup. It's a big area. As you can see, there's many levels, and you can see those complete ropeways between these structures there, where you can traverse. If you went there, you could swing across there. Some of your guys with a special ability will have the function to swing across there regardless. There's also usually somewhere, it's not showing you on this, there's broken walkways, ropes, where if you have a certain kind of unit, you can fix them. But these zipline things, they're useful. So for example, these are the places you start, these areas, and each one, they're all quite separate, but they can be near, they can be far. These are those orange things, that's where you extract. So basically, you'll get to this mission. The orange things are the things it mentioned in the mission brief, which are the things you need to get the most. It's usually a salvage casket, which is a salvage casket. It's like one item on its own. Then there's usually 4 or 5, sometimes 7 of these other orange caskets, which are loot caskets and things. Then there's these smaller green ones, which are just basically, they could be anything, just something to sell in the shop, or a weapon, or a pickup. But the orange ones are the important ones. The orange things here, they're the ways to leave, and how you remove loot. The green caskets you can pick up and you can carry as long as you've got space, but the orange things you have to physically carry in your hands. You can't then, if you've got 2, you can't even carry a weapon. If you have a one-handed weapon, you can carry one in one hand and have a weapon in the other. But once you've got them, basically you need to get them to the exit zones, because you won't be credited with them unless you exit with them, and that's quite a thing. And again, that comes back to when you pick them up, because if you pick them up early, If you can't get to a escape zone quickly, you might get killed and not be able to get away with them. And another thing you can do, which you can do again depending on how the game pans out, you can't always do this, is for example, here there's a gateway there. Sometimes there's only one escape way. You could position your gang there and then hope to ambush people when they try and get away and not even bother going there to get their caskets. So there's many options. So let's just place our gang somewhere, because you know that's part of it. So we'll say place your gang, and on the bit at the bottom it will show you the one with the crown, that's our queen, leader, gang leader, queen I call her, and the others are icons for each person in your gang of the 5 that are going on the mission, and those are the ones with the ability to use a grapple rope on their own. They've got their separate one on them, so they don't need to find one of those zip lines. The only thing I found a little bit frustrating is it doesn't actually tell you which one is which. So if you've got 3 of these, you'll have to work out kind of which one might be which, and you actually can't, because even this score doesn't really tell you unless you remember exactly which score one's got, and it's sometimes they've got the same score, so you actually can't tell which one. So that's a little bit annoying. I don't know why they don't put the names. It's frustrating. So anyway, we'll put somebody there, and that's Asbel. Well, actually that's the girl with a bionic leg, and as you can see then the other 2 gangs have also gone. One's gone there, one's gone there. Now you can position in more than one start area, but you can only position in 2 overall. So for example, if I put somebody there, I can only use that one and that one afterwards. So you've got 5 people to position. So just for game's sake, I'll put somebody over there, and we'll put this person there who is Lords. That's someone who I use a lot. She goes on every mission. She's highly statted up one, because I take her a lot, and she's got a sidearm and a extra melee value because I've statted her up and she's been on lots of missions, so she's leveled up very quickly compared to some of the others. Then I'll put another person here. That strange little thing you can see next to that icon that looks like a kind of alien, that's a tech. So that person with the skull thing, what that is a kind of tech bubble that floats above them, or a tech amplifier, and you can stun people from a distance. That can be quite useful actually, because if you can't get in gunshot range of somebody, or someone's on a different level, you can stun them. And then we'll just put our other people. We'll put our queen. I know it's not a queen, it's a leader, but I call her the queen. We put our queen there. Other gang will go, and you can see the red gang, they're putting their people in 2 different places as well. The blue gang are all going in the same place. I don't know why. It's their choice. We'll put another person there. And that's it. And then it will say select a fighter. So basically there's our list. When you do this bit, it will give you the names of them, which is even more annoying, that when you select them to start, you can't find out who they are, so it's just weird. But anyway, that's one of the things I've noticed a lot in this game. It's one of the little frustrations, especially I think once I had 3 people with the same rank, with the same abilities that were all the same rank, and I literally couldn't tell which was which, but there was one that had this weapon and one that had some other thing in their backpack to use a certain kind of grenade, and I couldn't pick which was which, so it's a little bit annoying. But anyway, so we'll say which to pick, and let's just pick her because we're doing this as a kind of tutorial. We're not going to go crazy. The thing at the top where the colours are of the 3 gangs, that will tell you which order you move in, and in this case we're white, we move first. So you can look at the map overall by pressing the big bar in the middle of your controller, and it will show you where you are. Now what I will do, and it's because I know who this person's ability is, she's got a rifle thing, which is it's the longest range weapon you have. It's the longest range weapon you have. So basically the blue team are near, They usually don't try and come at you, but they can do different things. The AI, like I said, is quite good in this game. So what I will do initially, almost in any mission, this is just me, it's not like this is the greatest strategy, this is what I would do, is I will take her up here, the blue team are up there, and what I would do just to annoy them is I will put her on an overwatch, which means that if they try to come up that gangway, she'll shoot them. Once you've done that, you've got tactical points. AP is action point, which anyone who plays any kind of game will understand. Movement points is the other thing. So we've got 15 movement points left, which we don't need because we've moved. We've got 25 action points, and we've used 35. And we can still do something. There's nothing more offensive we can do because we're already on Overwatch. So we've got tactical, and the things we could do are we could kneel, we could use various devices, medicines. That one would revive if you're stunned. They've all got various, and you can see what they've got. Yeah, that one restores up to 10 movement points. There's quite a lot of things with different buffs. Even though I've been playing this for a while, I forget some of them. Some are more useful than others, some are offensive, some are defensive, some are both. The other thing she's got is a corrosive trap, but there's not much point in using that there because I might want to go there later. If you use your traps, they will work on you as well. So if you put the trap there and then you walk into it, that can be not very good for you. We don't need so we'll kneel, because that's what you do when you're overwatching and when you're waiting to jump out on somebody. So we'll do that. That's ending our turn. Our stanch is overwatch, and the blue team, as you can see from the top, they'll go. They use one of their buff chemical things. There's lots and lots of them. So they just use one. I'm not going to try and explain what each one does. And there you go. We've shot them in an overwatch, and you can see from that green bar, they've already lost a bit of health. Pinned can either mean, sometimes depending on what you get shot with and where, it can mean you lose all your movement points, or at least you lose some of them. And sometimes if you're trying to escape from something or you lose all your movement points there, that can be really irritating. So this guy on the red team, he's obviously in a place. Sometimes you have to run through traps. They're not even anyone's traps, they're just traps that are down. Most of these areas, when you start, have traps down that aren't even anyone from the other gangs, they're just there. And sometimes you have to run through them because there's no actual way to get where you want to go. So we've used someone from the one side, so let's just use her from this side, our queen, our leader. And again, you check up on here using the big middle bar where you want to go. You can see where she's there. There's no one particularly near her. That guy with a, you can see that way. So our queen's there. So again, same as I did with the other, and this is just, I said, it's completely personal choice. Especially because you kind of, sometimes it's best to see what the other gangs are going to do. Sometimes you'll need to look at this a few times, like I've just done, because you'll run too far. And as I think the graphics are good here, but as it's all in a kind of mechanised area, sometimes it's kind of hard to see where you're going. Actually, I'll tell you what I will do. Because we're here, and I've run here, instead of going to bother that guy, what we'll do is, there's that zip line, you can see it on the overlay map, which goes down to a lower level. Zip lines can go up and down. Sometimes they can go up a very long way and down a very long way, but we'll use this zip line just to show you. So we're there, and this zip line will take us all the way over there, and we're trying to, theoretically, although we might have to fight first, we want to get to that middle bit where all the goodies are, all the crates and the loot caskets, everything. So we'll just use that to show you how it goes. So it says use zip line. It's very simple. You just press X for use zip line, and then we're there. So we're now opposite where all the crates and things are. As you can see, that red circle is a hazard. That's a trap of some type, which if we wanted to get there, we would have to basically run through it. We may not. We may go off somewhere else later. Someone else may run through it, and again, because we're going to use any more points, there's no point to go anywhere else. We'll do an overwatch. Now, okay, so she's